People that have lived in cities their entire lives, they are the keepers of history. They're the archivists, they're the documentarians, they're the oral storytellers. They are the ones that can speak at length and talk about how much they love a city, but also what they need from a city. You know, cities also spend a lot of time, again, trying to build stuff for new people, but sometimes lost in the process. You know, you don't hear what the needs are of the people that have lived here the longest. So once cities do that, then I think that can potentially make cities better for everyone.
A healthy city should feed itself. You grow it, you make it, and you distribute it within the city boundaries. You encourage vacant spaces for green hubs and make them available for the public. But very important is the underlying relationship. Green hubs in connection with food, with music, with art, with education, but also with semi or permanent architecture.
What we preserve is the joint result of two ambitions. On one side, the civic authorities or the entrepreneurs who want to make the best and the most adequate designs for their clients or their citizens. And from the other side, the talent of the designers, but also architects, typographers, engineers that contribute to our living environment. So that's really the extraordinary examples of those two ambitions that we want to preserve.
In questo momento, dove sembra di essere arrivati ad uno stadio zero, dove ci troviamo nella difficoltà di non avere una precisa identità verso la quale andare, forse ripartire da cosa siamo stati, alla natura delle cose, al principio delle cose, al principio dei significati che hanno reso unica la città, può essere un modo, non lo so.
Le città sono una fantastica scatola nera. Trasformano in ogni istante interessi individuali, tante storie, tanti obiettivi in benessere collettivo. Una magia che solo gli ambienti urbani sanno realizzare. Una magia che deve avvenire in ogni momento e che deve garantire a tutti un obiettivo comune.
The riverside has a long history of having some kind of purpose, some kind of use for the city. The most important issue is that you have people in the municipality, among the developers, among the people, among the students that really want this and take ownership to the idea of turning the riverside back to the people, back in use.
I think a city doesn't and does need clear boundaries. Cities function the best when different types of people, different types of activities meet and mix with each other. But on the other hand, in terms of urban structure, you need to have some boundaries, certain types of buildings in certain types of areas.
This is an inefficient use of road space. This is undemocratic as well. This car lane here can only move 1,300 cars per hour. And that's basically 1,300 people because there's only one, fuck you, there's only one person in each car. If you imagine bike lanes down both sides on best practice design, you can move 5,900 people per hour. Put in a tramway here, 50,000 people per day. It's just mathematics, but it is also a question of where you want to go with the city that you live in.
It's interesting to think about what's happening right now in this market. You hear a lot of noise, you see a lot of boxes moving around, you can see people walking in work uniforms. The production space of the market is actually more important than the physical kind of merchant space of the market. We found that out. We found that out when we opened our market. Markets inherently always provide a kind of new opportunity for incoming immigrants, for young entrepreneurs, and that's what I like about starting to think anew. you have contemporary needs that weren't necessarily thought about in such a space, which doesn't necessarily have so many services that support these kind of merchants.
Je pense que les messages qu'il faut envoyer dans les villes aujourd'hui, d'un point de vue d'architecte qui fait aussi du graphisme, c'est de s'assurer de refaire un équilibre entre les messages corporatifs ou publicitaires ou commerciaux et puis refaire une place à la collectivité. S'assurer de dessiner de l'espace public le plus possible et puis après ça, écrire et affirmer la place de cet espace public-là dans l'espace collectif.
Gentrification can be a force of good as long as you have developers who are being thoughtful and socially conscious and wanting to do the best they can, not just for the people who will be buying the apartments in their building that's going up, but those who already existed in the community.
The traditional transport planning paradigm, especially the car-centric one, has been to focus mostly on flow and speeds. But contemporary planning paradigms is shifting towards a more comprehensive approach that includes also the social dimension of moving. So the emotional aspects, the social interaction, and the sensorial dimension that people have while traveling.
Aujourd'hui, la ville a besoin de se réinventer pour répondre à de nouveaux sujets, comme par exemple la question des matériaux, la question du climat et du réchauffement climatique. Il y a aussi la question de la sécurité, comment trouver des solutions pour intégrer du coup ces mobiliers plus facilement dans l'espace public. Et c'est là où il est important que les designers interviennent pour dessiner des objets qui s'intègrent à la ville.
Communication is really important to be transparent.
Yeah.
That the whole process of change has to be transparent. So the people have to know what is it about, and they have to have all the data in order to have an opinion as well. And they need to be involved in a discussion. So every time there is a decision to make, they need to be involved. The point would be to start a constructive discussion, and then we will make a decision together.
One key thing about change is that it's not only affecting the hardware of the city, like the built environment, the buildings, the infrastructure, but it also needs to affect the organizational structures, like the municipality, the politicians, other kind of stakeholders from the civil society, the companies. So there must be some kind of change management for these, the software of the city as well, and that is just as important as a change in the hardware, in my point of view.
I don't think we can predict urban interventions. Cities are organized anarchies in which multiple actors develop their own projects. That's their role. And we can, as planners and as city governments, provide a good infrastructure for these projects. It means providing a robust, generic and beautiful space that everybody can occupy and make its own. So my claim is less strategies, more openness, less targeted projects and more generic space.
Possiamo costruire una comunità corresponsabile che sia in grado di costruire dei processi inclusivi. È la corresponsabilità poi il tema, perché a quel punto sta in capo a tutti provare ad essere più inclusivi, non solo all'istituzione, non solo ai soggetti che lo fanno per lavoro, non solo a chi ne ha la sensibilità. È una corresponsabilità collettiva che forse ci permette di costruire vera inclusività.
Cities are quite often passive in dealing with their waterfronts. It's in economic terms, it's an asset which is not used. So to be more active with the waterfront would build the identity for the city, which could be done. This identity, I mean that people would in some way be able to interact with the water. So there would be possibilities not only to pass by the water, but to immerse in the water or to have an aesthetic or social experience by the water.
Senza auspicare una rivoluzione che faccia dei morti, bisogna concepire il progetto come un atto di guerra. Cioè la progettazione non può essere più un fatto intellettuale che sta sopra le esigenze. La guerra è una concezione del progetto in qualche modo rivoluzionario.
Non il think big, ma il thinking tall. Essere ambiziosi, posizionare la propria città al centro di una rete di innovazione e di innovatori. L'innovazione è un ambito altamente competitivo, bisogna saper sviluppare progetti molto ambiziosi, saper attrarre intelligenze da tutto il mondo nella propria città e fare rete. Questo è thinking tall.
I think we stay in love with the city basically through a love and hate relationship. We love it because we understand it and it understands us and it comforts us and of course we love it the way it expresses itself, but we also hate it because we want to make it more and more beautiful. We want to change it basically. We want to be part of that change. So we go and explore to see what can we do about the city.
Given the immense shifts that are going on, confronting us all right now, the shift in global culture, population growth, climate change, technology, just the way we communicate to each other these days, we need the vision of visionaries now more than ever. Really, did we think this was it? That we would wake up in our boxes each morning and get into our cars and drive across cities that our ancestors built for us a couple hundred years ago, maybe more, in a world that was so much different than ours? I don't think so. I think we continue our evolution, our social evolution especially, and the way we do it is through the imagined visions of visionaries who can take our collective ideals and aspirations and put them together in a way that we can make a better world.